What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 172, everybody. I am your host, Sleazeball. Today's episode is going to be my Week 14 BYEMAGGEDON Part 2 wide receiver rankings, top 36. We're going to grind through 6 tiers all the way down. And remember, guys, Baltimore Ravens, Broncos, Texans, Colts, Patriots, Commanders, all on a bye. I will show them when we get to my wide receiver screen. Before we dive into it, guys, make sure you smash that like, make sure you hit that subscription, turn that bell on. Helps me out a ton. I will be live today, 2:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern, to help you guys with all your questions. And I'll lead into my guy, Big Draft Energy Show, where we'll go over pick'ems and everything we like for each game. If you guys cannot make the live show, make sure you drop any comment you want down below. One of my goals is to answer every single one of them. We are 1 week away from the playoff, guys. It is crunch time. Smash anything you have in there. Does not have to pertain to this video. And I will try to answer it all to help you get into the playoffs and get you that ultimate goal of a championship. And let's dive into my top 36 Week 14 wide receiver rankings. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my revamped Week 14 wide receiver board. Ballers tier at the top, must start wide receivers tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. We're going to crank through my top 36 wide receivers. At the bottom here, you'll see I don't even have Amari Cooper in my top 36 right now, which is crazy to say. I hope he bounces back this week. And on the right side, you'll see all the wide receivers on a bye. So Downs, Pittman, Cortland Sutton, McLaurin, Zay Flowers, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, any Patriots wide receivers as well. Get them out of your lineups heading into this week. Now, starting off with number 1, the man, the myth, the legend, Jamar Get Silly Chase is going to go absolutely bonkers on Monday Night Football versus the Dallas Cowboys. They have the over-under at 49.5 points. I think it's going to fly over that. The Bengals are a must-win. They have to win out from here on out. And Jamar Chase is the number 1 player in fantasy football. Let's be real. Or number 1 wide receiver. So the Dallas Cowboys currently ranked 21st versus the wide receiver, get up 32.7, 15th in the red zone, 147.9 yards to the wide receiver they give up, which is middle of the pack, and 0.8 chance for a touchdown. I don't care. You're smashing him into your lineup. And I'm also going to talk about each team's wide receiver together. So T. Higgins has been absolutely a just blessing in disguise off, finally coming back and playing football this year. I didn't think it was even going to happen. So very impressive what he's done over the past couple of weeks. 31 points, then the bye, then 18 points. He's seen 10-plus targets in both games and a touchdown in both games. You got to like T. Higgins in this matchup as well. Number 2 is going to be Justin Jefferson. I'm also going to grab where I rank out Jordan Addison as well. So the Minnesota Vikings are this team just seems to not lose a game right now. It's absolutely crazy to me. They're going to get the Atlanta Falcons this week. And if you've, been a subscriber to my channel or followed it before, I've always thought this Atlanta Falcons defense, with all the names they have, is going to get better. They have 5 superstar names, and the defense is struggling. So it's like the Jets. On paper, they're good, but they're just not good. So right now, they rank 28th, giving up 37.8 points to the wide receiver. They are dead last in the red zone, giving up 10 points to the wide receiver, 155.8 yards allowed. And guys, 1.3 touchdowns a game, which is last they give up to the wide receiver. So I think this is going to be a monster Justin Jefferson game over Jordan Addison. They funnel passes to the wide receiver 1 all year long, and Justin Jefferson is going to go absolutely bonkers this week. Number 3 is going to be Puka Nacua for me. I'm also going to grab Cooper Kupp. I have both of them in the top 10, and I know that you're going up against the Buffalo Bills, and it's going to be a tough matchup. So the Buffalo Bills currently rank 5th versus the wide receiver, get up 27.9. They're 6th in the red zone as well. They only allow 126.4 yards, which is top 3 in the NFL. They had a 0.7 chance for a touchdown. But when you're looking at this game at LA, no weather, the over-under set at 50 points. This is going to be a game that I think is going to crush 50 points. I think they're going to be scoring at will in this game, and the LA Rams are going to have to keep up. And when any of these guys are out there healthy, they're always, I know Cooper Kupp had a bad game last week, but that's an aberration game. It's not going to happen every single time. So I like them as number 3 and number 7 this week. Number 4 is going to be A.J. Brown, and it looks like Devonta Smith is going to be out there, but I'm going to be a lot lower on Devonta Smith coming out the hamstring injury. So he practiced today. We don't know if he's going to be out there, so make sure you're paying attention to the updates, right? Now, the Eagles this week are in a matchup here versus the Panthers, which everything is amazing, right? Everything on paper you could possibly look at is amazing. The Carolina Panthers have gotten better versus the wide receiver. So they rank 13th. They give up 31.4. They used to rank 20th to 30th range all year long. They rank 18th in the red zone, giving up 140 pass yards a game, which is middle of the pack, and a 90% chance for 1 touchdown for a wide receiver. The only thing that I'm kind of feared of in this game is if they don't score early, this could be a Saquon Barkley just destroy him game here. Because Carolina gives up so many yards to the running back. They're 32nd in every single category. So if the Panthers don't keep stride here, it could be just a pound them run game. This is the only thing I'm worried about for the Eagles receivers and Jalen Hurts in this game. Heading over to number 5, Mike Evans. Do not panic on the not practicing. He's coming off injury. He's 30-plus years of age. He's older. He's going to be out there in this game. You're going to get the Las Vegas Raiders. And the Bucs are now back in playoff contention. They're 6-6. They're fighting for their life. And whenever Mike Evans is out there healthy, especially with Chris Godwin gone, you're starting this guy at all costs. And you know he's chasing that 11th season for 1,000 yards, right? So 25 points last week versus Carolina, 12 targets. You saw Mike Evans get back to Mike Evans. Now you get the Raiders. The Raiders are not bad versus the wide receiver. They're 10th. They give up 30.8 points, but they're very bad in the red zone. They rank 29th in the red zone. Where does Mike Evans live? In the red zone. 134 yards they give up, which is top 10, and a 90% chance for 1 touchdown. I like Mike Evans to score again and have another big day here. Number 6 is going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. We are going to find Jameson Williams here at number 26 as well. This is the Thursday night football game tonight. Playoff implications on the line. Packers 9-3, Lions 11-1. I cannot wait to watch this game. The over-unders at 51.5. You want every part of this game. It is going to be a high-flying electric game tonight. Now, when you're looking at the Green Bay Packers, they're very good versus the wide receiver. They're number 8, giving up 29.3, but they're very bad in the red zone, ranking 27. So high touchdown upside, 130.3 yards, which is top 10. So a very good pass D and 80% chance for 1 touchdown. But when you have to deal with this massive offensive line, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Sam Laporta, I mean, it's super hard not to look at a defense and say that it matters when it comes to the Lions, because this team is such a powerful offense. I don't really, it does lower the expectations a little bit, but these guys are still going to eat in a high scoring game. Number 8 is going to be CeeDee Lamb. And man, if this game right here was with Dak Prescott, I'd probably have CeeDee Lamb at number 2. The Cincinnati Bengals rank 23rd versus the quarterback, giving up 33.9. They do rank 4th in the red zone. They have a good front 7. They give up 156.8 yards, which is bottom 10, and 1 touchdown to a wide receiver a game. And you got the Cowboys on a little 2-game win streak here, right? So you've seen Cooper Rush play decent. I know CeeDee Lamb's banged up right now. They already said there's limited. He's practicing limited, going to be out there. So don't panic on the question mark tag. But, I mean, I look at the Giants game last week, man. He got hurt in the game, 67%. But before that, he's always 12 targets a game. You have to have this guy out there. The Bengals can't stop anything. I love CeeDee Lamb this week, even with Cooper Rush at quarterback. Number 9 is going to be George Pickens, one of my smash plays last week that hit. He's going to be another smash play for me here again. This week, you get the Cleveland Browns. You just saw Bo Nix and them go toe-to-toe, yard for yard. Or not Bo Nix, Bo Nix in the game. He threw for 300. Jameis threw for 500, which was crazy. Now, the Cleveland Browns ranked 24th, giving up 35.3 points. There you go. There's your sign right there for Pickens to go bonkers. 7th in the red zone, but again, they have a great front 7. Some of the field shrinks. They'll be better in the red zone, but it doesn't matter for me with George Pickens. He is a jump ball go-getter, double team him, can't stop him. That doesn't bother me with him. 165 yards they give up per game, which is 6th worst in the NFL. And they also give up 1.2 touchdowns to the wide receiver position a game. I absolutely love George Pickens this week. Number 10 is going to be Tyreek Hill. And let me grab Jalen Waddle at the same time here. I have Waddle down at 33. So Miami Dolphins got to fight for their life here, right? They're on the cusp, playoffs right here. They need this win. They're 5-7. They cannot lose to the 3-9 Jets. The over/under is 44.5. But the Jets seem like they're just not motivated to play football at all. It's really weird. They have so much talent, and it's crazy how it didn't work out. The Jets are number 1 versus the wide receiver, but I'm not scaring away from it here because the season's done. They give up 26.5, which is first. They're 9th in the red zone. They give up 125.4 yards, which is 3rd best, and a 60% chance for 1 touchdown. So all the signs point to, tough matchup. But again, when the season's over, I don't look at it that way, and the Dolphins are fighting for their life here. I like Tyreek and Jalen Waddle at 10 and 33. Number 12, one of my smash plays of the week for 20-plus points is Calvin Ridley in the revenge game. And hang on a minute. This is our first time we're going to bring in Nick Westbrook-Akine at number 36 as well here. And not only the fact that it's a revenge game, you get the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are led by Mac Jones. And they also are the pot of gold in fantasy football across the board on defense. They can't stop anything in Jacksonville. So versus the wide receiver, they give up 38.6 points per game, 181 yards per game on the season, which is second last in the NFL, and 1.1 touchdowns. This is why I've liked Will Levis. This is why I said you should trade for these guys down the stretch here, because the Tennessee Titans schedule from here on out is absolutely amazing. Wide receiver number 13, I'm also going to grab Darnell Mooney here as well. It's going to be Drake London at 13 and Darnell Mooney at 30. And man, Kirk Cousins, guys, is struggling right now. And it makes it super hard for any rankings here. This is a revenge game. You get the Minnesota Vikings, who are 32nd versus the wide receiver, giving up 40 points a game. They're 30th in the red zone, third worst, 182 pass yards, which is dead last, and 1.2 touchdowns, which is tied for second last a game. I just don't trust Kirk right now. Everything on paper says this should be smash Atlanta Falcons. This is a revenge game. I even ranked Kirk Cousins lower on a revenge game, which I usually don't, because the guy only has 18 fantasy points over the past 3 games. That's absolutely terrible. You're starting to hear a lot of Penix talk. It's getting very, very scary in Atlanta right now. They're falling apart. They need this win. They need Kirk to bounce back, or we might see Michael Penix next week, honestly, in my opinion. Wide receiver number 14, Jaden Reed, who we talked about on stream last week. Big draft energy with a monster call on him saying to put him in there. And he blew up. He didn't have a lot of volume, but he doesn't need a lot of volume. This is not how Jaden Reed operates. You're probably going to have Romeo Doubs out in this game again as well tonight. I've not seen the official update, but it looked like he was out yesterday, so pay attention to that. And when he's out, his snap share goes up. And now you're playing the Detroit Lions. This is a very, very good defense versus the quarterback and a very good front seven. But you got to look at it like this. They rank 29th versus the wide receiver, giving up 38.3 points. In the red zone, they're number 3, because, again, that front seven is very good. But 187.8 pass yards per game. That's dead last. Sorry, I said Minnesota Vikings were dead last. They're second to last. And an 80% chance for 1 touchdown. In a 51.5 over game here, in a dome, no weather, I expect Jaden Reed and Christian Watson to hit bombs in this game. That is what the Detroit Lions do, is give up chunk plays. I know they have 2 good safeties out there as well to go along with Arnold, but still, these guys, they're going to manufacture a way to get Jaden Reed the ball in this game in massive amount of volume. Number 15 is going to be Malik Neighbors, and we are going to have Drew Lock as the quarterback. It looks like officially locked in, and you get the Saints. I mean, I wish this is such a good matchup. Again, like, I wish I could put Neighbors higher. Like, they rank 26, giving up 36.5. They give up 176.7 yards per game, which is bottom 10 or bottom 5 in the NFL, and then 80% chance for 1 touchdown. But you have Drew Lock, or it could be Tommy DeVito, depending on however it plays out, and it just kills Malik's Neighbors' value. I know he can still see tons of volume, and you're still throwing him out there, and the matchup is great. It's just super hard with the quarterback play to trust anything right now. I mean, that's why I have him at 15. Otherwise, I'd have him a lot higher if he had a good quarterback. Number 16, and we're going to grab DK Metcalf at the same time here. So this is my first time all year ranking Jay Season above DK Metcalf. And DK Metcalf is banged up. You can tell the shoulder's bothering him. He's playing through it. He's a built-in-the-lab monster. I get all that. Jackson Smith-Njigba has absolutely been electric. He's into the top 10 overall of wide receivers. The breakout is here. And you get the Arizona Cardinals. And for me, this is super tough for me. Again, if you watch my running back video or quarterback video, this game was 16-6 last time they played. Yeah, that was in the 12th man, Seattle, different. I expected it still to be a shootout. Both these defenses are not great, and it wasn't. So do I think it's going to be the same here again? No, I do not. I think it's going to be over the 44.5. I mean, I know it was only 22 points last time, which is absolutely crazy. But the Arizona Cardinals are 19th versus the wide receiver, giving up 32.5. They're 23rd in the red zone. They give up 153.7 yards, which is middle of the pack, just to the wide receiver alone, and an 80% chance for 1 touchdown. You got to like them both in this game, even if DK's banged up. It's just that weird, 7-5, 6-6, big NFC West game, nerves start rattling, panic kind of offense as you saw last time. I don't expect that this time. I expect them to both have a big game here and be startable. Number 17, Jacoby Meyers. This is one of the smash plays of the week. You get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who give up 36.5 points to the wide receiver position, ranking 25th. They give up 162.2 yards, which is bottom 10, and 1 touchdown a game. And you saw that Aiden O'Connell actually mattered. It made a big difference for Jacoby Meyers, 100%. And look at what he's done in the past 2 weeks. 15 targets, 11 targets, 22 points, 16 points, 11 targets, 7 targets. Since Devontae Adams has been gone, he's the focal point, but Brock Bowers is seeing so much work. It's just these two, and you really don't see anyone else. They're going to be startable the rest of the way and have one of the best schedules in fantasy football the rest of the way. Number 18, DJ Moore, and thank God Shane Waldron has been gone. We talked about it before the season started. I know he missed with the quadricep yesterday. Looks like he's going to be out there limited today from the updates I've seen, so don't panic. I mean, he plays 100% of the snaps. He saw 16 targets last week. That is absolutely bonkers versus Detroit. That is why you have to like Jaden Reed and Christian Watson tonight. And now you're going to get the San Francisco 49ers, who are beat up across the board. I mean, my 49ers are in shambles. But if we have one strength, it's versus the wide receiver. We rank 6th, giving up 28.8, 17th in the red zone, so the touchdown upside goes up. But 129.2 yards, which is top 5, and an 80% chance for a touchdown. And I also forgot to throw out Keenan Allen here as well, who's been on fire, but I'm ranking him 32nd. And it looks like we could have Bosa back. It looks like we could have Greenlaw back, and Hufanga is getting close to coming back. So this 49er defense is about to get really, really healthy with superstars back out there to make it tough. That's the only reason I'm ranking the Bears lower this week. Number 19, the highest I've ranked Ladd McConkey all year long, and this man has earned it. He is absolutely balling. I know he's questionable right now with the shoulder, but he practiced. And just look at the last couple weeks, 21, 20, 14. He's starting to be the wide receiver one. Quentin Johnson had his drop game, whatever was going on there. That's very, very ugly on his side. You get the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs rank 15th versus the quarterback, 31.9 points a game, but they rank 31st in the red zone. That's second last versus the wide receiver. Big touchdown upside for QJ Palmer and Ladd McConkey in this game. They give up 133 yards, which is top 15, and 1.1 touchdowns a game. So I really, really like Ladd McConkey a ton this week. Number 20 is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. He was on my bounce back last week. That was a monster hit. Again, whenever you play the Minnesota Vikings, it looks like everything should be good because that's what they do is struggle versus the wide receiver. That's why, even with Kirk Cousins playing bad, I still like the bounce back game. It just makes it risky. Now you get Seattle at home. Last time they played Seattle, he was absolutely throttled for 6 catches for, 6 targets for 3 receptions, 47 yards. Nothing special. Now the game script is flipped. Now they're at home. They need to win this game to get back atop the division, fighting for the playoff spot. I still like Marvin Harrison. Again, this is just a tough game for me to rank because how it went last time when they played. It was very, very ugly. Number 22 and number 23, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson at 22. And with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers right now and how it's going, this is just atrocious. So when I'm ranking these guys, these are 2 superstar wide receivers. And I know they had 14 points and 16 points, and there's an average floor for them about that. But you're not seeing a ceiling pop. They share a lot of targets. Super hard. Jets, I hate it because the matchup is really rough. The Dolphins are number 2 versus the wide receiver, giving up 27.3 points. Number 8 in the red zone, 124.2 yards allowed. That's second best in the NFL, and a 60% chance for 1 touchdown. And with the Jets just in shambles, it's just super hard for me to rank these guys, although, God, they're superstar wide receivers. Number 24, and I'm going to grab number 28. They were hampered. Deebo Samuel and Juan Jennings were really hurt by the snow game last week. They're going to get the Chicago Bears this week. No Christian McCaffrey, no Jordan Mason. Trent Williams may be out there, may not be out there, which is huge for the left tackle side. But the Chicago Bears are very good versus the wide receiver. They're 3rd. They give up 27.6. They're number 1 in the red zone. They give up 139 yards passing, which is top 10, and a 70% chance for 1 touchdown. This is why I know my Niners, man, this is a must-win game, but it's going to be really, really ugly game. I feel like I'm really low scoring in this game. Number 25, Jerry Jeudy and the monster revenge game that he had last week. Holy moly, did anyone see 45.5 points coming? I did not. 13 targets, 9 receptions, 235, almost averaged 26 yards per catch and a touchdown. This man was out there in electric fashion. But now you get the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now you're going to get Porter Jr., one of the number 1 shadowing corners chasing you around. Pittsburgh Steelers ranked 9th versus the wide receiver, getting 30.2 points per game. 27th in the red zone, 130.3 yards, which is top 10, and an 80% chance for 1 touchdown. And you're starting to get game film now on Jerry Jeudy being the number 1 guy. So I think Pittsburgh Steelers know this. It's going to be a different look for him. And I think it's one of the big mistakes that people make in fantasy football. I know that he's been on a tear for like the past 5 weeks with a great floor, but I don't have him as a high play this week. Number 27 is going to be Brian Thomas Jr. And this one really, really hurts, man. Trevor Lawrence takes that just monster hit last week and headed to IR, shoulder surgery. You're going to have Mac Jones out there. It's wraps for all the Jaguar players, BTJ, Evan Ingram, every single one of them. I know you could get garbage time playing from behind and volume and all of that. It's just not going to be pretty. Number 29 is going to be Khalil Shakir going up against the 49ers this week. Going up against the LA Rams this week. No weather in a dome. Still saw 7 receptions, but only played 50% of the snaps last week. Again, it was a blowout, and it was a snow game. So I expect that to be different this week. But I feel like it's going to be just more of a James Cook pound the run game here because that's where the LA Rams struggle. They're not bad versus the wide receiver. They're ranked 20th, giving up 32.7, 140.7 yards, which is middle of the pack. But they do give up 1.2 touchdowns. And Josh Allen's is chasing an MVP day. So could I have ranked Shakir higher? Possibly. It's just, Amari Cooper, I don't even know what to do. So I could put him right next to him because he's been playing terrible. So it's just very tough to see how that's going to play out this week. Last but not least, number 34, DeAndre Hopkins. And this is a super tough matchup for him. And it's been a weird go here. So if you look at it, right, he's only played 47, 45, and 59% of the snaps for the Chiefs. I know they're winning. I know they're 11-1. They could be holding him. He did see his most targets last week at 9 for 4 and 90 yards. I get all that. And his one-handed catchability out of bounds and the end zone, everything he does is amazing. His volume is just, and he's not getting enough snaps for me to rank him higher. I want to put him in the top 20. The matchup versus the Chargers, though, Chargers are a very good defense. If they have one weak spot is the wide receiver and tight end, and it's not really a weak spot. They rank 14th, giving up 31.4 points, 145.8 yards, which is the middle of the pack, and 1 touchdown a game. And this is going to be that ugly division, Chargers, Chiefs, grunge game here. I mean, I don't even have Xavier Worthy in my top 36, even though he could pop one. I'm tired of the boomer bust with him. And that is the top 36, guys. Hey. Thanks for rocking with me today. That is the end of the episode. That is my Week 14 top 36 wide receiver tiers heading into BYEMAGGEDON Part 2. So remember, you have the Ravens, Broncos, Texans, Colts, Patriots, Commanders all on a bye. This is a monster week with the playoffs coming up next week. So make sure you have all your starters out. Make sure you have the right players in. Make sure you use that list to however you want to put those into your starting players. And remember, I like the Packers wide receivers a lot tonight. Before we head out, guys, make sure you smash that like. Make sure you smash that subscription. Helps me out a ton. Turn that bell on so you know when I'm live. I will be live today, 2:30 to 4 p.m. PST time, helping you guys with any questions you guys have, doing a couple of splash drafts. If you guys cannot make any of the live streams this weekend, I'll be live all weekend long. You can also drop any comments you want down below. I'll also try to answer every single one of them to help you guys get that monster win this week. And let's get that championship, baby. And that is it for me in this video. Sleazeball out. Hope to see you guys in the next one.